Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and this is episode 171. My guest this evening is singer-songwriter Carolina Alonso from Reno, Nevada. Now, she was inspired to do music from her father. Her father always encouraged her to sing, and in 2021, she was featured on season 21 of NBC's hit show, The Voice. Team Kelly Clarkson. So I'm really excited to bring Carolina into my show. She is in the house. We're going to have a great interview. She's going to sing for us and she will take your questions at the end. So whenever you're ready, Carolina, come on in. Let's get this party started. Hey guys, how we feeling tonight? How we doing? Hello, hello. There she is. Hi, Carolina.
Hi.
How's your day going?
It's been pretty good. How about yours?
Oh, it's going well. I am celebrating my 171st episode with you as my guest.
Oh, wow. I feel special. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to chat with you, talk about your musical journey, your time on The Voice, and what's to come. So let's just hop right into it. So I want to start at your formative years during childhood. I know you were extremely inspired by your father. So bring us back to that time when you were first growing up with him.
Yeah, so like my dad, ever since I could remember, he was like singing. He sang in like various like musical groups.
Yeah.
Like Spanish music, like mariachis and like all these different types. So I grew up like listening to him sing. My mom's family, like they love to like sing too. So it was just something that I like grew up like around. So it was like naturally like I just gravitated towards music as well.
Mm-hmm. So then bring us back to that time where there was just music in the household and then he encouraged you to sing. Do you remember how old it was when he was like, let's get you to start singing?
Um, I was little. I was like 10 or something like that when he first started to like, because he plays guitar, so he would be like, oh, like sing this song with me or like try to sing this song.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like that's when I really started like singing, but I was always like super shy, so it was always like just around him or like just around my mom.
Uh-huh. So tell me about some of the songs that you guys used to sing during your childhood years. Were there any songs that you just like bring back to your childhood and you're like, oh my gosh, I always remember singing this song with him?
Yeah, it's like a lot like I said, he sings like Spanish music, so it was a lot of like mariachi music and like a lot of like just like Spanish. So I remember this one song. The first song I would like sing with him in the guitar that I can remember was this like mariachi song called La Cigarra.
Mm-hmm.
And like to this day we still sing it like together.
Oh, I
Yeah.
so it's like one of those songs that you always are gonna sing with your dad.
Oh yeah, that's like every time I sing it, like it would feel weird if I wasn't singing it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So then at 16, you started performing with your dad in public. I believe was it just one restaurant you sang at or was it several?
Mm, it was, we started off at one restaurant. Like he used to sing by himself there. And then we would like go with my family to like watch him sing and he'd be like, oh, like just come like sing a song with me. And that's how it started. Like I would sing a song with him and then I would go like sit back with my family.
Yeah.
And eventually he was like, you should start like coming with me like to actually sing like the whole time. And like I was super nervous at first, obviously, but I like started going. And to this day, like we still sing at a restaurant together.
I love that because it's like you can share with him, you share music with the audience. People can come up to you,
Mm-hmm.
tell you how the music has affected their lives. And because you've been doing it for such a long time, I'm sure you have quite the following in Reno.
Yeah, like we play at parties here and like people like do like know us like, oh, like you guys sing here, you guys sing there. So it's like pretty cool to like be able to like have this thing with my dad and have like share it with like people around us as well.
Yeah, I'm always one of those people that says like when you sing or you do music with your family, there's just a different level of, I don't even know what the word is to say it, but it's just like there's just that family bond that you can't
Mm-hmm.
another random person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that singing has definitely like brought us like super close. Like that's the one thing that we share like a passion for.
Yeah.
And so that like it like creates like a special type of bond like between me and him.
Yeah. And then when we hear and we see you perform, it's just like, okay, that's a father-daughter duo because it's just
Yeah.
that.
And like we've been doing it for so long that now it's like natural for like I'm singing and he like does like harmonies or like he like does like the like background vocals or something like that. So it's
Yeah,
just like it's just natural now and it's like really amazing to get to sing with him.
totally. So bring me back to that time when you first started singing with him in public. What was that like for you as a performer?
Oh, I was like super nervous because I'm naturally like a very, very shy person. So
Yeah.
like anything that had to do with like standing in front of a crowd, I was like terrified. And I remember like I was always like singing, but I was like singing like with my back to the crowd basically. Like I was looking at him. So like
Uh,
I wasn't even like facing the crowd because I was like so nervous. But
yeah.
like it really helped a lot to like with my nerves when it comes to singing. And now like I feel more comfortable singing like in front of people than like anything else. Like speaking, I suck at like public speaking, like in front of crowds, but
Yeah.
like singing is just like natural for me.
Yeah. I've actually heard that from a lot of musicians that they can't actually go up and like talk to the
Oh,
audience. But once they start singing, it's like a whole nother ball game.
oh no, yeah, like presentations and all that, I like freeze up. I'll forget everything. But like singing, surprisingly, it's just like okay, like let's go out there and like do this.
So if you have to public speak or do something in school, you would prefer to sing it rather than say it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anything like presentations, I'm like it was to the point where like I was little and I would like miss school because I was like, oh, I don't want to present, I don't want to present.
Yeah.
And like but like singing, I remember I started choir in like high school and like I loved like performing like in front of like the crowds and like I would audition for like the solos and stuff and that was like I could do those fine. Like I didn't get nervous there. It was like the public speaking and like that stuff where I was like no.
Yeah. So when you public speak now, like, I mean, at school or if you had to public speak, is it still like nerve wracking? Are you shy?
It is. It's like I still get like pretty nervous,
Yeah.
but I feel like singing and like singing in front of crowds has definitely helped with like those nerves.
Yeah.
And like it makes me realize like oh like it's in your head. Like no one's like judging you right now. They're not like thinking you're like horrible. Like it's just like you. And
Yeah.
like performing has definitely like helped with like my shyness and like anxiety and stuff like that.
hmm So when you're performing, do you like lock eyes with people in the audience or do you like stare at the back of the room? Like how do you get through it?
Honestly, sometimes I just like I stare at the back of the room most of the time because I feel like if I lock eyes, it's too like I don't know. I feel like awkward because I remember when I did like the audition for like The Voice, I was like just stare straight ahead, don't even look at them. Like I was staring at like the top of the chair. I wasn't even staring at them because I was like I'll like freeze up if I like look at them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I totally get that. I think nerves is such a common thing. And I think
Mm-hmm.
important for other like musicians and singers to know, like, we all struggle with it. Like, there's moments of shyness and like how to get through it the best way we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I want to talk about some of the songs you've covered. You cover songs by Ariana Grande, Maluma, Whitney Houston. Do you have a favorite song to sing? And if so, which one is it and why?
At the moment, I would say like honestly like Olivia Rodrigo, like all her songs. I don't know why, but like I love singing those. I
Yeah.
haven't like done any covers on those, but like to this day, I'm still like re-listening to that album like a lot. Anything Adele as well. Like I love Adele and
Mm-hmm.
like all her songs I love to sing. But it's like I like a little bit of everything, and I think that like with knowing like Spanish and English, like it's such a variety that I get to like pick from that it's like super cool and like yeah, I just love like a bunch of different genres.
Yeah. So as far as Spanish artists, are there any Spanish artists that you love that you'd love to collaborate with?
Um, Becky G's like I've been like pretty into her lately.
Yeah.
Carol G as well. Like those types of like artists are like people I would like love to collaborate. Like if I ever got the chance.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I think it would be so cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like I love their music. I'm always like replaying it. So like to be able to like sing with them, that would be amazing.
Yes, I love that. So in 2021, you were on a show called The Voice. You
Yeah.
sung El Triste by Jose for your blind audition. Bring us back to that day, like when you woke up to like that time that you finished your audition. Walk us through that.
Oh, it was like I didn't even sleep the night before because we were so they had us like all in a hotel, like all the contestants, and like all of us were like super nervous and like me personally, I was just sitting in my room, like staring at the ceiling. I couldn't sleep, and then like next thing you know, it was morning time, and it was like go time, and it was just like I had to like mentally prepare myself a lot because that was like the biggest stage I've ever like actually sang in. Like I don't only ever like sang in like the restaurant or like family parties and stuff like that. So it was definitely like a whole new experience. But and I thought I was gonna be like more nervous than I was.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like once I got up there, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm here. Like I used to watch this on TV, and now like I'm actually standing here.
Yeah. It's got to be so surreal to grow up with a show like that.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, wait, they're about to call me on stage and I'm going to walk. I really hope I don't trip.
Oh no, yeah, I was like freaking out in the back. Like they had to be like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah," because they like have you like walk around backstage, like while they're like getting set up for like the next artist and stuff. And
Yeah.
they're kind of like, "Okay, like just walk around. Like, how are you feeling?" And I was like shaking and like super nervous. And once I got like inside, I was like, "Wow, like I can't believe like I'm here."
Yeah. And it's got to be so cool because when you watch it on TV and then when you're behind the scenes and like the camera's in your face and they like want you to look a certain way and say something like four different things, like,
Yeah.
you know, like the fun of TV editing, if you will.
Oh yeah, I thought it was like a lot easier than I thought, like with interviews and stuff, because they do have you like say things like three different ways, and then they know how to like ask things to like get you to kind of like be comfortable around the camera.
Right.
So I like when I first got into the interview room for like the life story interviews and all that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna totally like butcher this. Like I can't like public speak. But they have like it's like amazing how they have like a way of like getting you to like feel so comfortable around them.
Mm-hmm. And I think the editing too, like with TV shows, it's like they have so much footage like that they could use, and then they these little tiny pieces, and then they do the montages. So right, you could be up there and sing a 4-minute song, and the only thing that actually airs is like a quick 20-second snippet of it.
Yeah, because I know for like interviews they were like super long, and like they kept like what like a minute of it.
Yeah.
So it was they do like a whole lot to like make sure that there's like they have enough like good footage for you to like present you in. And that was like the good thing about that show is that they always told us like we want to present like you in like the best light possible. Like if you don't want something, like let's say like you recorded something and like you don't want it to air, like you can totally tell us and we won't like air that. Like if you could always like to your producer be like, hey, like I accidentally said this, like I don't want that to air, and they'd be like, okay, cool, like we'll cut it.
Really? That's really interesting because I think sometimes on those shows they want to know everything about you, right? Because they're trying to make you tell your story and let people fall in love with you. And I feel like they get, you know, some people get really personal. They talk about really personal things during their, you know, when they're talking about who they are. And I think it's cool that if you said, hey, you know what, I really said this, but like, can we just like not let that air? I would prefer to not say that to the world.
No, yeah, they were super cool about that. And like, their thing was always like, this is, at the end of the day, this is a singing competition and we want to like focus on that. Like we don't want to like make drama or like do this like first show. Like we're focused on the music, and that's what I think makes that show like so special, that they're not out here for like to like expose you like for ratings or anything. Like it's genuinely like about like the music and like the talent. So it was like a super cool experience.
So then you walk out on stage for your blind audition and you kill it. Talk to me about when you were singing that song. You said you were looking at the top of the chairs, but like, did you like black out? Did you not know what was going on? What was that like?
I definitely blacked out. Like my legs were shaking so bad. I thought I was gonna like fall over because I was like wearing heels too, like these like big heels, and my legs were like this. I was like, oh my gosh, don't fall over, don't fall over. And then like once I got like the chair turn, like it was like a huge like weight being lifted off my shoulders, and like I was able to kind of relax a little more. But yeah, it was like I completely blacked out. Like I don't even remember at what point she like actually turned around. I just remember one time I like looked up and like I just saw her face and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gotta be wild when you're like in a trance singing your song and then you see a judge turn around. You're like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna be on her team. This is
yeah, it was like surreal. Yeah, and then there's like so many talented people that like are there to audition that you're like, oh my gosh, like how did I get on a team?
Yeah, but it's crazy because it's like all the waiting that you guys do, and there's so many people in the back room that like are waiting to get called on stage
Mhm.
and never get that call.
Yeah, it's like they have like so many like such a like talented group
Yeah.
that like there was so many people that like didn't get the chance to be on a team who are like super talented, and you were like, if it would have been like a smaller group, they like definitely would have like made a team.
Yeah. And I definitely think it's kind of when you audition, because if you audition like the first 2 days, you could get a 4 chair turn. Whereas like if you
Mhm.
audition the last day and only like 2 spots are left, you could have got, you know what I mean? You could have gotten a 4 chair
Yeah.
turn
No,
if you
yeah, like Kelly herself told like me and like my battle partner when we like went to like audition, like rehearse with her. She was like, "There's times where I'm like, why did I not turn around for like that was amazing?" And there's like it's just like an in like it's a feeling for them, and sometimes they like end up like turning around and they're like, "Why did I not turn my chair for that? Like that was like wonderful." And they like it's just like it's hard, like it's a lot of pressure as a judge to be like, okay, like should I turn, should I not turn? And it's especially like knowing there's so many like talented people on the show.
yeah, definitely. So Kelly Clarkson turned for you. I personally love Kelly Clarkson. I actually watch her daily talk show all the time. I think she's like so much fun. Talk to me about what it's like to be on Kelly's team.
She is like the most like bubbly person, like literally what you see on TV is her like behind the scenes as well. Like she's
Yeah,
so like warm and like welcoming. Like at no point did you feel like you were talking to like this huge celebrity, which like she is. Like she was like so like down to earth and everything, and it was like she was always like, oh, like I can relate to you guys because I've been through this before, and that like was a huge comfort because you're like, okay, she's done this before, like she knows what it's like to be in our shoes.
totally.
And she was like, she gave like a lot of really good advice and everything, and it was just like such an amazing experience to be able to like even be in the same room with her.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like, and I talk to other people that have been on Kelly's team, and they're just like, she's so fun. She's like a friend. She's just
Oh
like
yeah.
honest, like just chill. Was there any kind of advice that she gave to you that stays with you to this day?
Yeah, so I remember when we did the battle song, she was like she told us like stay true to who we are as artists, like don't let what other people like are saying like, oh, like this like didn't turn out good, or like this like just kind of like block that out and like know who you are as an artist. And that
Yeah,
like really stuck with me because I know I was like super scared about like being like on not live television, but like on television, like people are like you're exposing yourself to all kinds of like comments, all kinds of like criticism. And
yeah.
she was like, just like if you're like confident in yourself, if you're true to yourself, like you'll know, like you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you need to walk in your truth as an artist because there's so many different kinds of artists on this show, right? Like
Yeah.
from all across the country, old, young, like different backgrounds, different genres of music. And I think it's kind of like I like seeing all the diversity on that show
Mm-hmm.
and the the different kinds of singing, where people are from. And I think it's so important. You guys are all there for a reason. Like you're all in that
Yeah.
spot. You all were
Mm-hmm.
on we're all on a team for a reason. And I think that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and like even like behind the scenes, like the atmosphere was amazing with like the contestants themselves because we
Yeah.
did get to like kind of like talk to each other and like know about everyone's life stories, and it was just like such an amazing like atmosphere being around all these people that like have the same dreams as you, and they have the same passion for music as you do, because I've never like experienced that. Like there's so many people from like so many walks of life,
Yeah.
and you like even from like all the contestants, like I learned so much just like being around them.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard a lot about. It's kind of like going to summer camp where like you all are singers from all across.
Yeah.
Learn so much from everybody because everybody's at different points in their careers, and maybe like
Mhm.
you met somebody on the show and you're like, oh, you're a great songwriter. Like let's write a song together.
Oh yeah, there was like definitely a lot of people that I was like I've looked up to because they was like they've done like so like there's people who have done shows, there's people who already have like albums out, like they have like music, they're like music is like their like full-time job, and I was just like it was like inspiring because I was like, oh, like I want to be like that person, like, and it was like just super cool.
Definitely. What was one of your most memorable moments from the show?
From this show. Uh I mean besides like obviously like the audition, it was just like being able to be around like all these people, because I remember we would go to like we were all staying like the same hotel room, and we would go like to the park, and like everyone would like bring their guitars and they would be singing, and it was just like such a like cool atmosphere that I'd never experienced before. And it
Mhm.
was definitely, it's something that I'll definitely like always like remember and cherish, and I don't think I'll like ever get to experience that again, like all these people like together in like sitting in a park like singing these songs and like just sharing like your love of music.
Now, that's the content that we want to see on TV. I would love to see you guys in a park, like just like chilling, rocking out, just like working with each other. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I know. I wish they showed like a lot of that, because we did a lot of stuff. Like we would literally have like, we brought the hotel towels out into the parking lot and we would do yoga, or we would like go play soccer or play like with like frisbees. Like there was like all sorts of activities going on, especially because like since it was like due to COVID, we could only like do so much. So we have to get like creative and be like, okay, like let's go do this, let's go do this. It was like super cool.
Wait. So you brought your towels into the park?
Yeah, like I remember we had like a group chat and someone was like, hey, like yoga in the parking lot, and like everyone would just, well, not everyone, but like people who wanted to, they would just like bring their towels and we would like lay them out, and
Yeah.
like it was like they would end up super dirty by the end, but it was like super cool. I've never done yoga, and like I went because I was like, oh, I want to try this out. And
Yeah.
like there was like, since there's so many different people, there's like all these different skills that people bring besides singing, that you, it was like super cool.
Yeah. Also, it would be so wild if like somebody just went to the hotel and they just saw like 15 people from this TV show just like doing yoga in a parking lot.
Yeah. That was like, we had to like kind of like keep it on the wall, like don't say you're like here for the boys. So
Right.
we would have to kind of like, anytime someone like got suspicious, be like, oh no, we're here for like something else.
Right. Because the thing is, and I don't know if people know this about the show. So they don't know that it like some of it has been taped months prior and then it airs.
Yeah, like the audition themselves are like, they're taped and then they air like months later. So it was crazy because we got to like watch auditions
Yeah.
from home.
Yeah.
This is like super cool.
Yeah. And then you guys sign stuff that say you cannot tell anybody that you know.
Yeah.
Not post until we reveal it, because I know that time when people are like they do the eye audition and they put it on their Instagram, and like that's really cool because then you're like, oh my gosh, I've been holding this in for months. I can find all you guys that I auditioned for this show.
Oh no, yeah, it was like super, like it was like huge relief once we were actually able to be like, hey, like I did this really cool thing. And even like we couldn't even interact with like our other contestants on social media until the show aired. So like once it aired, we were like, oh, finally we can all follow each other and like interact. So it was like just super cool.
Yeah. So your friendships on the show and people that you've met, are there any people that you like are besties with or you talk to a lot?
I like the one, I there's one person I keep in contact like the most would be like Becca from Girl Named Tom.
Yeah.
And she's actually coming to Reno on tomorrow, so I'm gonna go watch her perform. Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't seen her since the show, so I'm like super excited to get to like catch up with her and like get to like see them perform because they're like amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like backstage when they were doing their audition, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that, like the harmonies and everything. I was like, wow.
I know, and it's crazy because when I saw them audition, I was like, whoa, like so crazy. And yes, they're on tour all summer long, and that's crazy that they're in Reno and you're gonna see them.
Yeah, she like texted me and she was like, oh, like I'm gonna be in Reno, like do you want to like come to our show? And I was like, yes, definitely.
Yeah, and then you see them like on a different stage, and I love the platform that The Voice gives to you guys, because the thing is, it's like you guys are all hustling out here, you're all music. But when you go on a show like that and then your blind audition airs and then it gets like hundreds of thousands of views, it's like I can only imagine what it's like on social media. People just come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh my gosh, I saw your audition and I love you and you're the best.
Yeah, it was like super cool. I was getting messages from like people in like other countries and stuff, like, oh my gosh, like I watched your audition, like I loved you on the show. And it was like such a huge like honor to be able to like be getting like all these like super nice messages. I was like, oh my gosh, like thank you. And just like, yeah, it's super cool to like be able to know that you're like, there's people in other countries that are like liking what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think the people that watch the show, they're like just diehard Voice fans, and we all like love of music, and it's just like every person that comes to the show, we're like, oh my gosh, we love them. Oh my gosh, we love them. And it just, even looking at some of the comments on the YouTube blind auditions, the people are so supportive and embrace you. It's so cool.
Yeah, like the fans of the show, it's like crazy how supportive they are because there are like fans who have been like fans of the show like for like a lot of seasons ago, and they're like super supportive. They would send like messages like, "Oh, like kind of like support, like don't let it get to you, or like don't like we're here for you, or like if you need anything, like reach out." And it was like just super cool to know like the fan base of this show is like super supportive and they want to see you like grow and they don't want to like put you down on or like criticize in like any like harmful way.
Definitely. So let's talk about like the Voice family in general because there's so many seasons of The Voice. Have you connected with any other singers from the other seasons?
I've like followed some. They've followed me back. I haven't like interacted like a lot, but I like see their stuff. I'm like they see my stuff, and it's just like super cool because like we know we share this like experience.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very cool. So I want to talk about your college life because you are currently in school for biochemistry.
Yeah.
Where did the love for biochemistry come from?
So actually, funny story. I was like a vet medicine major first because
Uh-huh.
I was like, I have a love of animals, and honestly, besides like music, I couldn't really find anything that I was like, oh, like I feel like passionate about this. Like I want to like do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I started vet medicine. Then I found out like I cannot deal with blood at all. So I was like, oh, like I need an alternative. Like let
Yeah.
me look again. And so somehow I ended up in like biochem and like pharmacy sounded like interesting. So I was like, oh, like okay, like I can do this.
Mhm.
But obviously, music's always been like the end goal.
Yeah.
So
So
it's like kind of hard because it's like I'm doing this because my coming from like a Mexican American family, like first generation, like education is like such an important thing
mhm,
that I have to make sure that I have like a backup plan, like which is my degree and stuff, and
definitely.
then like it's hard to like pursue music at the same time and do this, but it's like you gotta kind of like balance it out.
hmm So talk about balancing school with musical career. Talk to me about the pros and cons of that.
It's definitely harder to like focus on music when you do have like another thing going on.
Yeah.
It's definitely like doable because I know people who have like two, three jobs and they're still like pursuing this like thing. But the
Mhm.
thing with music is like it's not like a sure thing. Like it's not like you can get a degree for music and it's like, oh, like you're a musician now. Like
Yeah.
it's it's hard to like break through as an artist.
hmm
And there's so many people like going for the same thing, but you just gotta like stay consistent. And honestly, for me, it was always something that before The Voice, I was like, oh well, like I like to sing, but I don't know if I'm like good enough to like become like an actual artist who's like making money off of this and like getting to like do this for like for a job, do what I love for a job. But after The Voice, like, and especially like seeing so many people that do like have this like career in like music and they've like made it work for themselves, I was like, okay, like I want to like definitely put more time into like growing as an artist and like kind of like putting myself out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so important because there are so many musicians that juggle two or three jobs,
Yeah.
school, this, like I'm trying to pay the bills, but like I'm really just trying to like put music out there and I just all I want to do is just be a musician full time.
Yeah, no, it's like it is like a struggle because it's definitely like a lot of like you have to put in a lot of work to get to like a point where you can be like actually making money off of like music.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people, like for me, it was always like just like a hobby. Like, okay, I like to sing. I sing with my dad, and I would do it like on the weekends. And obviously, like I would get paid like from him, but it wasn't like I was getting paid like where I could make like a living off of it.
Yeah.
So it was always like kind of a side thing. And then I was like, okay, now let's like focus on like the like real career, I guess.
hmm
And it's like after The Voice, it definitely got harder to be like focus solely on school. Like I definitely want to like pursue music like way more than I was prior to the show.
Yeah. And I feel like because it gave you such a huge platform, people are like, okay, Carolina, I see more of you.
Yeah, like it definitely like opened my eyes, and it was like a huge like boost of confidence that I think I needed. Like kind of like okay, like you are good enough. Like you do have like can do this if you like work hard at it. You just gotta like put in the work. Because it was always like me being like too critical on myself, like, oh, like, no, you can't get on that show. Like when I sent in my videos, I was like, let's just see what happens, like not really expecting much.
Yeah.
And it was like crazy once I was actually like on the stage, and I was like, wow, like I can't believe I did this.
Yeah, I think it's such a huge accomplishment because, like we said earlier, there's so many people that like audition for this show, and there's so many different rounds that you have to get through before
Yeah.
these judges, and it's like there's so much hard work and persistence and hustle that gets to even having a blind audition, because like we said, there's people in the back room. I've talked to people that have tried out for the show 6 or 7 different times,
Yeah.
never gotten on TV. They've never had a blind audition. They just like are waiting for their number to be called. And they're like, okay, I mean, teams are all full.
Yeah, and that's I definitely saw some of that in like my season 2. There was people who had been like, I've been auditioning since like season 1.
Yeah.
And like they like, it's just like admirable, like their drive to like keep trying until you like get there.
Yeah. I think it's just like persistence and hard work, the right people seeing you, and like it's so cool when you're on a show like The Voice and then like a judge. You're gonna be on my team. Like we're gonna work together.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was crazy. Like when she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so excited to like work for you," and like I was actually watching the audition today, and I was just like her reaction. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like she was reacting to me. Like that's crazy."
Yeah, it's gotta be so cool. Like as an artist, like, oh my gosh, she's so excited to see me. She loves my voice. She loves everything about me. She wants me to be on her team.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's like it's crazy, and like all the other judges too. Anytime they like give you like any sort of like advice or like compliment, you're like, wow, like these are like huge musicians like that have done like so much. Yeah. And they're like, the fact that they're like giving you compliments, it's like crazy.
Heck yeah. So I want to talk about what's next for you. Like what's coming up with you? Are you gonna do any live shows, collaborations, original music? Talk to us.
Yeah. So I'm currently, I was like sick for a while, and I was trying to kind of like slow down my whole trying to make music thing because I was like literally couldn't talk or anything, let alone sing. Yeah. So yeah, I was but I've been working on like trying to write more like of my own music, kind of figuring out like my own sound, because I've never actually put out like anything that's like mine. It's always been like covers and stuff, which I definitely like want to continue to do because they're like super fun, but I do want to like start putting out my own stuff, like kind of like just getting more out there as an artist and kind of like figuring out who I am as an artist in the first place.
Yeah, and I think it's cool when like you do the covers, but then you release the original music, and it's kind of like when you put out the music and people respond to it and they're like, oh, I like this, and then you're yes, this is who I am as an artist, like this is me.
Exactly. Like I want to put out music that people can like relate to, and like because I know there's a lot of people who like have been in like similar situations as me that like can relate to like stuff like that, because I know when I like listen to a song and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I relate to this song, like I love this song, it's like it would be amazing to have like that but like reversed. Yeah,
like the way you feel about Olivia.
Just like, exactly.
I'm obsessed with her, I love her, and like and I feel like she has done like so many amazing things. Like I remember when she first came on the scene, and then she was at every award show. I was like, girl is killing it. Like people are obsessed with her, and I mean for good reason, right?
Yeah, I definitely want to like get to that point, and like it would just be amazing to like be like a voice for like people, like have like put kind of like people's feelings into like a song. It's just like amazing, and just like putting my feelings into that song and having people like relate to it would be like the goal.
Yeah, and then like when you sing it on stage and then you see these people and then you're like, they're singing my words back to me.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be like amazing. I like literally sometimes I'll just watch like YouTube videos of like live performances, and it's like I get chills from like other artists like having like these like fans like singing their songs. So it would be like a whole like another level if it were like me on stage and like people singing what I put out.
Definitely. So what kind of artists and genres of music have you been listening to recently?
I listen to a lot of like pop, like R&B type of music. That's definitely like up there. And also like a lot of like Spanish music, just like ballady types and like pop and like obviously like Bad Bunny and all those are like super big right now as well. So it's just like honestly like it's a mix of like everything. Like my playlist goes from like one genre to the next to like a whole different language and then like another language. It's like crazy.
I love that though, because I think as a musician, you need to have a diverse taste in music because then you're kind of, I heard this song and I'm like, now I can use it in my song.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's like been a huge like blessing to have grown up with like Spanish and English music because you get exposed to like a whole like wide variety of like different artists and like it's I can like incorporate parts from like both languages, both like types of music into like my like singing and my music.
Yeah.
And that's why it was like for me it was so important to like sing in Spanish for like the voice because I was like it is like a huge part of who I am as an artist. Like what I grew up listening to mostly when I was like a little baby, it was like all Spanish. So obviously I was like, you know, I want to like stay true to like that part of myself as well.
Mm-hmm. I love that you sung Spanish on The Voice because, like I said, I think there's so many different genres of music that they talk about on The Voice, pop in the country, and then occasionally an opera singer or a rock singer. But like, I just wish they had more Spanish singers on the show.
Yeah, and they're like very I remember when I sent like my songs, they were super open about like, oh yeah, like do you want to sing in Spanish? Like that's super cool. And like even like when they would like we would like do rehearsal and stuff, they're like, I don't understand what you're saying, but like it's like amazing. And I remember one of the people from the band, he was like, thank you for introducing me to this song. Like it's like a super like good song. So it was just like super cool to know that I was like singing a song and like kind of like sharing my culture in like a big scale.
Yeah, I think that's so cool because then other people are like, oh, so she sang this really cool song for her blind audition. I've never heard it, but let me hear that song. And then it's like, and then people like get introduced to different kinds of artists in this genre.
Yeah, and especially like the song that I sang, it's like by a huge like legendary artist in Mexico. So it was just like it was also like a huge thing to be able to like sing it on like in like The Voice here because it was like I know like a lot of people would send me messages like, oh my gosh, like I felt like so proud like watching like you singing like such a legendary song that like we grew up with and like for it to be like on stage and like people like Ariana Grande and all these people are like actually listening to that song, like it was just like a huge like proud moment. And that's exactly how I felt. I was like super proud to like sing in Spanish and like show this part of me because I just like I'm proud of like where I come from and who I am, so like I wanted to like showcase that.
Yes, and you were so confident and beautiful and you sounded so I just loved your blind audition. It was just so amazing and I was like, she killed it. Like you killed that.
Thank you.
Of course. What's a success mean to you?
Success would be just getting to do what I love. Whether that's like playing like smaller shows and just like, you know, as long as I'm like doing music, I'm like happy. Like it's my like singing is like my happy like being on stage and like singing to people, it's like my happy place. So just like for me to be able to like to get to do that like for a living would be like the dream.
Yeah. So do you want to be a touring musician?
I would. I think that would be like super cool, like getting to like tour. That would like getting to visit all these different cities and like getting to sing in front of people, like getting to like meet people who like are like fans of you. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because then like you're in a different city every night, and then like goes to all these people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Charlie, we love you."
Yeah, like the traveling would definitely be like very fun because I know me, like I've literally only gone to like California and that's that. So getting to like meet like new people, like explore new places and get to like sing on top of that would just be like super cool.
Yeah, and then it's like you're meeting new people, you're seeing different cultures, and then it's just like you're doing what you love every single night.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice. Let's see. Definitely like stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
I think like it's easy for like people's words to like sometimes get to you and they can like affect like who you think you should be or like kind of like how you see yourself. But I think if you know who you are, like everyone else's opinions will kind of like slide off. Like, and it's like at the end of the day, it's like you have to be happy with yourself. Like you're not here to like please everyone else. Like you have to be happy with who you are, like what you stand for, what
Yeah.
you're doing. And I think that was like the best advice I've like heard.
Yeah. And to like walk in your truth, it's like it's so
Mm-hmm.
empowering, and that's what
Oh
you do
yeah.
on the show, because you're like, I'm gonna sing in Spanish. Like this is who I am. Like take it or
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I was definitely nervous because it was like, oh, like they're not gonna relate to the song like on like a lyrical level because they don't know what I'm singing. So it's like it's up to me to like kind of like like show emotion without the words, which
yeah.
is like I knew it was like a challenge like that I was gonna have to face, but I was like, it's okay. Like I really want to do this, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I think picking a song for your blind audition is so important, right? Because you get this very small amount of time to showcase who you are as an artist and a person, as a vocalist to them. And you're like,
Yeah, like song choice is super important
yeah,
because you like you said you have like a limited amount of time there and you want to like show the best of you but you also don't want to like overdo it like
yeah,
it's very like you have to like really think about it like what song because there's songs that I was like oh I like to sing the song but like I don't think it's gonna like on stage it's gonna like work when I have like this tiny amount of time to like actually sing it.
right. Yeah. And it's like the song choice is so important. I've talked to other,
Mm-hmm.
they like, I had a song, but then they wanted me to sing this, and I kind of like didn't know if it was good. So was this song choice? Was this your song choice? Did they say, "Hey, we want you to sing this song"?
So it was like a mix of both because they have you like send in like suggestions of songs you would want to sing.
Yeah.
And then from those suggestions, they kind of like send you the one that they're like, hey, like we want you to do this one. And that was the one they sent in to me. And honestly, that was one that I was like, oh, like I don't think they'll pick that one, but like I really like this song, so let me send it in. And like once I saw like that was like my audition song, I was like, oh my god, like yay, like this is super cool. I get to sing this like song that I didn't think was gonna get chosen, and like they chose it.
Yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
like so cool how they like pick the right song, and you're like, okay, now I'm like so excited to sing it.
Yeah, and then like if like you didn't like your song, you could always like talk to them because I know there was people who were kind of like iffy about their songs,
Right.
and like that's what was like super cool. It's like you could always talk to them, and it wasn't always just like a oh like what we say goes like it's our show. No, like you they like would listen to what you had to say.
Yeah. That's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the beautiful people watching right now, tell them how they can support you, musician. Where can they follow you? What's your socials? Talk to them.
You can follow me on Instagram. It's Carolina Alonso. I also have a YouTube channel that I haven't really posted on, honestly, but I will start. It's Carolina Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
And TikTok, I don't post a whole lot, but it's Carolina Alonso as well. I definitely will want like start posting covers and stuff. Now that I'm like recovered, I have my voice back. I definitely want to like grind and like get on like my posting like posting covers, posting all sorts of stuff. So definitely like follow me if you want to stay updated.
I'm so happy you're feeling better, because
Thank you.
vocalist, when you're not feeling your best, you're like, oh my gosh, but I really want to sing, but I really don't feel good.
Oh yeah, like it was super hard. Like I didn't realize how much I sing around the house and like how much I like talk to myself when I'm like by myself until I couldn't. Cause like
Yeah.
my voice was completely gone. Like I remember I woke up and I like tried to talk and it was nothing was coming out and I was like, what the heck? And it
Yeah.
was like super hard having like live that. Even like just for a few days, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just have like the urge to keep like singing. Anytime I hear a song, I have like the habit of like singing it or humming it or like something. So like not being able to do anything was like super frustrating.
Yeah. No, I can't even imagine, because it's just like that's your life. And then like just in general, like as a person, you talk all day to just people in your life. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it was like I'm not like a super talkative person, but like even for me, I was like, oh, like this is super super hard. Like I just want to talk.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and like singing especially, like I had to like not sing for like 2 weeks of like completely like not singing, and it was like the hardest thing ever because like it was to the point where I was like, I'm not even gonna listen to music because I know I'm gonna want to like sing along.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy you're feeling better now.
Thank you.
Carolina, that's all the questions I have for you this evening. But guys, don't go because Carolina's gonna sing for us. Take it away.
Okay. Let me put this on. Okay. No me queda más que perderme en un abismo de tristeza y lágrimas. No me queda más que aguantar bien mi derrota y brindar felicidad. No me queda más. Si tu regreso hoy sería una imposibilidad. Y esto que no era amor, lo que niegas, lo que dices que nunca pasó, es el más dulce recuerdo de mi vida. Yo tenía una esperanza en el fondo de mi alma, que un día te quedarás tú conmigo. Y aún guardaba una ilusión que alimentaba el corazón, mi corazón que hoy tiene que verte como solo amigo. Y aunque vivía enamorada y totalmente equivocada, no me importa, porque esto sí fue amor. Por mi parte, lo más lindo, el más grande amor. Y aunque siempre lo renuncies para mí, fue lo más bello. Yo tenía una esperanza en el fondo de mi alma, que un día te quedarás tú conmigo. Y aún guardaba una ilusión que alimentaba el corazón que hoy tiene que verte como solo amigo. Y aunque vivía enamorada y totalmente equivocada, no me importa, porque esto sí fue amor. Por mi parte, lo más lindo, el más grande amor. Y aunque siempre lo renuncies para mí, fue lo más bello. Fue lo más bello.
Yes, Carolina.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And what was that song?
My next song, we're gonna try Olivia Rodrigo, Traitor.
What was the first song?
Oh, the next one, this one. It was Selena, No Me Queda Más.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, let's see. There's an ad. Okay. Brown guilty eyes and little white lies, yeah, played dumb, but I always knew that you talked to her, maybe did even worse. I kept quiet so I could keep you. And ain't it funny how you ran to her the second that we called it quits? And ain't it funny How you said you were friends, now it sure as hell don't look like it. You betrayed me, and I know that you'll never feel sorry for the way I hurt. Yeah, you talked to her when we were together, left you at your worst. But that didn't matter, it took you 2 weeks to grow up and date her. Guess you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor. Now you bring her around just to shut me down, show her off like she's a new trophy. And I know if you were true, there's no damn way that you could fall in love with somebody that quickly. And ain't it funny? All the twisted games, all the questions you used to avoid. And ain't it funny? Remember I brought her up and you told me I was paranoid. You betrayed me, and I know that you'll never feel sorry for the way I hurt. Yeah, you talked to her when we were together, left you at your worst. But that didn't matter, it took you 2 weeks to go up and date her. Guess you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor. God, I wish that you had thought this through before I went and fell in love with you. We're just sleeping in the bed we made. Don't you ever forget about the way you betrayed me. And I know that you'll never feel sorry for the way I hurt. Yeah, you talked to her when we were together. You gave me your word, but that didn't matter. It took you 2 weeks to go off and date her. Guess you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor. Oh, yeah, you're still a traitor. Ooh. God, I wish you would have thought this through before I went and fell in love with you.
Yes!
Thank you.
By Olivia Rodrigo. I love that song.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, my heart is like beating super fast.
You did phenomenal. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, off. People are loving it. Wow, amazing, great voice. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. So, Carolina, do you have some time for some questions from the audience?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. So, guys, if you're in the chat right now and you have questions for Carolina, put them in the chat box below. Where do you see your career in 5 years?
In 5 years, hopefully I'll have like my own music. I'll be like touring. I mean, that's the dream. Like, obviously, just as long as I'm doing anything music related, I'll be happy. But obviously, I would love to like start working on my own music, putting it out, getting to like perform it in front of people. That's like a huge goal. So hopefully I can do that in 5 years time.
Yes. Who would you like to sing a duet with?
Oh shoot. I think Kelly Clarkson would be amazing to sing with.
Yes.
And I always say I'm not just saying that because she was like my coach, but she's like an amazing vocalist. Like even before The Voice and everything, I was like listening to her songs, and her like vocal range is amazing.
Yeah.
And like I always watch her like karaoke things, and it's like it would be like amazing to get to sing with her. I think Ariana Grande would be like a huge one too. She's like super talented, and I love her music as well. So those would be like super cool.
Yeah. So do you watch the Kelly Clarkson show at all?
I watch clips. I don't have like cable, but I watch clips on like YouTube.
So I definitely think you should shoot your shot and tell Kelly that you want to be a guest on her show. And you were
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
yeah, like then you're back on TV and you're like living out your dream doing your duet with her.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that would be super cool. That would be amazing.
Yes, I think that'd be so awesome. See, where would you like to travel to next?
Oh, okay, so I used to play soccer and like I always wanted to go to Spain.
Yeah.
So that's like that would be like I think top of my list. Spain, I think Greece would be super cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like I think top two.
Yeah. So have you left the US before?
I've gone to Mexico for like to visit family and stuff.
Yeah.
And like but that's like pretty much it. I haven't done a lot of traveling.
Yeah. What instrument would you like to learn?
Oh, the piano. I always love like piano like instrumentals. It like sounds super like dreamy and like I don't know. There's just something about like the piano that like calms me down and it's like so like beautiful. So like I would love to like play that. I wish I would have learned, but
yeah, there's still time.
Yeah.
I love it. So if there was anybody from your season on The Voice that you would want to collab with, who would it be?
Oh shoot. I think just because like I'm like I love her so much. I think Becca, like she has like such an angelic voice.
Yeah.
I think like collabing with her would be like amazing.
Yeah.
I think it would have been really cool to get to publish like my battle song with my partner Xavier. That would have been super cool to do as well, like collab on that. So
yeah,
that Jeremy as well from Team Kelly, he was like super cool and he has like an amazing voice. I think he would have been like super cool to collab with as well.
Definitely. So that's all the questions and time that we have this evening. But Carolina, do you have any final words for the room?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. It was super fun. And yeah, if you want to like keep up with like what I'm doing and everything, make sure to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I promise I'll post like more starting soon. So yeah, thank you guys. I had a lot of fun here and thank you for like tuning in.
Yeah. Carolina, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Guys, for all coming in, listening to our chat and your questions. We really appreciate it. Guys, follow Carolina on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Show her love and stay tuned because she has a lot of cool stuff coming. Guys, please continue to support Carolina and support me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And if you love good music, follow us both. Give us both a follow. And stay safe, be nice to each other, and have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.